Hi, I'm the Reverend Joanne Blair. I'm the Assistant Pastor of Inclusion here at First Presbyterian Church in Birmingham, Michigan.
And I'm Cindy Merton. I'm the Director of Christian Education and All Abilities Inclusion Ministries here at the church. We serve a church that seeks to welcome and include people of all abilities into the whole life of the church. This isn't something that happens overnight, nor is it a one-size-fits-all program or a practice that can accomplish this.
There are two things that shift our culture. One is awareness, and the other is language. The issue of being churches that are fully inclusive of all people is something some of our congregations have just now begun to think about. Many of our facilities and programs were not created with this in mind.
But if we are to be the Church of Jesus Christ, in which the gifts of all persons are affirmed and their lives fully valued, then we need to create a culture of welcome in our congregations. It's not that we don't or haven't cared, but we simply haven't been aware of how we can become a more inclusive community. Our hope is that this video will assist us in doing just that.
The video you are about to see contains 8 vignettes, followed by a series of discussion questions. Our hope is that you will watch the video, pause after each vignette, and wrestle with the questions presented, asking yourself, are we creating an environment where every child, youth, and adult may come into this community and have their life shaped by a culture of welcome?
Hi, welcome. Let me help you. Come on, welcome. We're so glad you're here. Let me go help you find a seat. We're just going to go this way. We're just going to go over here. Come this way. There's a spot up here for you.
There's a really good. There's a much better. There we go. There's a better way to do this. If you could just relax.
Okay. Well, here's a spot for you.
I was trying to go to the bathroom. Okay, the woman who was a sighted guide in my vignette is actually a very, very good sighted guide, so she knew all the things not to do and to do. If you notice, through our progression, I was trying to engage her in conversation unsuccessfully. The problem was that I was dealing with her concept of blindness and not what I needed. We weren't able to contact. The whole situation could have been avoided, I think, if she had asked 2 questions. The first question is, can I help you, or can I be of assistance? If the answer to that is yes, the next question is how. I know, in my case, a lot more about blindness than she possibly could, and that would work with pretty much any disability. They'll be happy to tell you what they need, happy to work with you. But if you're imposing your idea of how to deal with a disability on them, you're probably going to end up being embarrassed and not getting where you need to go.
Okay, so for Vacation Bible School, we have 3 more kids coming for kindergarten, 2 more for the preschool class, 2 autistic kids, a Tourette's kid.
Is that all the special needs kids that we'll have?
Oh, no, we have 3 Down syndrome kids.
Ladies.
Oh, right.
Person
first language. It's a child with autism.
Right.
It's a child with Down syndrome.
Thanks. We all struggle with the use of terminology in describing persons with disabilities, or all abilities, or special needs. You'll notice in the videos that people don't all use the same terminology even when they are in the situation themselves. One thing we can be intentional about and focus on is recognizing the person first and the disability second. This would be done by person-first language. We recognize the person first. A child has autism. A child has Down syndrome. It's not an autistic kid and a Down kid. The language we use is very powerful, and as leaders, we can help shape the vision of a community by using person-first language.
Hi, I want to welcome all of you to our church this morning. We have a special surprise. We have a new family visiting, and they have a child with special needs, our first one. And so we want to make sure that they feel really, really welcome. So in a minute when we greet our visitors, please make sure to go up, and they're seated right down there. Go up and make sure they feel right at home. Let's greet them.
Finally, we got one! Awesome! Oh, is this your first time? Perfect! Oh, good! Yeah! Awesome! So good to see you.
I think when walking into a faith community, we first wanted to be recognized as a family who was looking for a community. And then secondly, to be welcomed as a family with a special needs child. But just as any other person who's walking into a new church, we first wanted to be welcomed as a family, and then to see what other needs we might have after that. So I think it's important that families with special needs kids be recognized as just a family first.
Mm-hmm. That's good. And always to have some options and ask questions as well, because there is such a wide spectrum of individual needs. Our daughter likes to be included through our church service and be in the sanctuary with everyone else. And also to have options, because week to week, even the same individual child will have different needs.
Good alumni with me, incidentally.
Are you U of M?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
What other school is it?
Really?
Absolutely.
What other school is there? University of Texas, thank you very much.
Oh, yeah.
Horns.
Yeah.
Hours out?
They're coming up. There's like daffodils. But we broke this, no problem, you know.
Oh.
Hey, guys, what about me? I enjoy the church, and I have become as active as I'm available to do. I want to be included, even though I have a disabled condition, I feel that I can still serve the church and the community. I feel that because of my insight, my education, I want to be able to incorporate all of those in the youth of the church and those people that have disabilities, so that I can encourage and make sure that we reach our full potential.
Boy, he sure makes a lot of noise.
He's my brother. He's just praising God.
I think the most important thing for people to understand is that families with special needs people want to have a church home where they can go and feel comfortable and be a part of a congregation. And sometimes he's loud and sometimes people do look, and that's okay. But an occasional, you're doing fine, or we're glad you're here and it's going to be okay, is very helpful and makes us feel like we belong and that it is our home and our family.
And to go along with that, I think there's also something really special to be said about how he seems to enjoy services. He seems to enjoy being part of this community, and people who don't see that and just see him as like either being yelly or obnoxious, just I think people just need to realize, and some people need to really like talk to people with disabilities, and it's amazing how much they enjoy the community. And yeah, I kind of believe when he is yelling and stuff in church, I think a lot of it is that he's just excited to be here and he's happy to be here. So I think just if there's any outburst, don't put it off as somebody either being upset or simply just like being uncomfortable about it. Think of it as like either somebody being touched by the Spirit or somebody just genuinely so excited to be at church.
Everybody here can hear just fine. You don't need a mic.
You sure?
Absolutely. You speak so loudly and so clearly. No one will miss what you're going to say.
I mean, there's a few people who I don't think they hear very well. You don't think that would help?
No, everybody hears just fine.
Okay.
Okay, go on up.
Okay.
Hear, O Israel, the Lord is your God, the Lord alone. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind, and your might. Keep these words that I'm commanding you today in your heart. Recite them to your children and talk about them when you're home and when you're far away, when you lie down and when you rise. Bind them as a sign on your hand, fix them as an emblem on your forehead, and write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. And the Lord your God has brought you into the land that the swore to your ancestors, to Abraham, to Isaac, to Jacob, to give you a land with fine large cities you do not build. Houses filled with all sorts of goods that you do not build, and cisterns.
On the topic of sound reinforcement, I just want to talk a minute about that. My hearing declined slowly over the years and finally resulted in my needing hearing aids, which work great in a business situation. But in a sanctuary, I still struggle from time to time to hear what's being said. I also run the sound here at the church, so I'm more acutely aware of the need for sound reinforcement in a sanctuary. Some speakers, for some reason, refuse to wear a microphone or use a microphone, thinking that their voice will project well enough so that people can hear, and it is often, in fact usually, not the case. Most people's voice does not project well enough that they can be heard in a sanctuary. So just make sure that your speakers are wearing microphones and that the sound is reinforced.
Friday she would be getting released from
Excuse me, do you have a restroom I could use?
Oh, sure. It's right around the corner in the alcove.
Okay, thank you. Excuse me, do you have a wheelchair accessible bathroom?
Oh, sure, there's one just down the hall on the left.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
Excuse me, do you have a wheelchair accessible restroom?
Yes, it's right here on the right.
Okay.
It's not marked, but it's right here.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Nancy, and I'm here to talk with you about my recent experience. I went out to get my morning newspaper, and in the blink of an eye, I slipped on the ice and found myself with a bad break and ended up in a wheelchair for some period of time. As a result, I have an immense appreciation now for what it's like for people who have to live every day seeking out wheelchair accessible, friendly facilities and assistance. There were many times I couldn't access places because I couldn't get a wheelchair either through a door or find a ramp, or the ramp was too steep and I wasn't strong enough to get up it. There were times where I would ask people for help or ask for assistance, and sometimes they just seemed uncomfortable. Other times they really didn't have an answer. They just didn't know where to tell me to go and how to get where I needed to go. And what I've found is sometimes even it says wheelchair accessible and it points you in the right direction, but in fact it's really not as easy to maneuver as you're hoping it is. It's still a challenge. So I experienced a lot of frustration during this process, but also a great appreciation for those people and facilities who do make it truly wheelchair acceptable and are willing to be of help and are sensitive to the challenges that I was facing every time I tried to do anything. So it meant a lot to me when I could go somewhere and be able to do what I would have normally been able to do if I didn't have to have a wheelchair.
We need some help next Sunday. We need someone to do some readings from the pulpit. I wonder, is there one of you who might like to do that and maybe, contribute that way?
I'd love to. I used to do that for my church. I was a liturgist for the church.
Oh, Marcy, I bet that was wonderful, but this might be a little complicated, but thanks so much for offering. I really...
Well, listen here. There's, it says, "Blessed be the name of the Lord." This was in our bulletin here
And
today.
that's amazing, and God bless you. That is a wonderful thing to be able to do. That's fascinating, and at some point, let's think about that. But is there someone next Sunday who might be willing to do this for us?
If you really want, I could do it, but...
Oh, that'd be perfect, Morgan. Thanks. That's great.
Hi, I'm here to tell you what I thought of the vignette that we did and what I'd like to hope that you might understand. And it's that all people have gifts, no matter who they are, if they have a disability, if they don't, and that the thing to do is to see a person as an adventure, somebody to know, someone to care about, and no matter who they are, if they frighten you or you just don't know what to do, think about, what would they think of me? Reverse it and think about what it is that all of us have gifts and we want to share them, and that love is the real thing that does it all. If we love each other, we're going to see the good things in everyone.